What is happening, everybody? How are you doing? Welcome to another episode of Heavy Water 77. Got an announcement. When this comes out, it'll come out in about a week. It'll be our 1 year anniversary, man. 1 year. I can't believe it, man. Time is flying by so fast. But man, my my co-host, he is my co-partner, I guess. Why not? That works too. Joe, how
Yeah,
you doing, man?
doing great. I cannot believe it's been a year already. That
I
time
know.
has flown by. It has been, just so much fun to do this show, and it's definitely it doesn't feel like it's been a year, and that's a good thing.
Exactly. Um, I wouldn't have noticed anyway, except something popped up on Facebook says 1 year. It said the first episode that I was working on. So I looked at the very first time we recorded, and yeah, next week will be a year. So thank you everybody who've enjoyed our show, subscribed, liked, and even the naysayers out there who still like to leave some comments every now and then. But you know what? We're cool with it. You know,
Yep.
we want some honest feedback. So cool. But today, what are we doing today, Joe?
Today we're going to be recording a review of the offshoot, I guess you could say.
All
Uh,
right.
after Warner Brothers told Damn Yankees, no thanks, we don't need another album. Uh,
Here's $1 million.
Here's $1 million. Don't give us another album. Tommy Shaw and Jack Blades said, okay, well, we'll do our own thing over here. And Warner Brothers surprisingly said, okay. So I guess we know what the common denominator there was.
Yeah.
Who didn't they want?
Interesting.
If they put out a Shaw Blades album with Michael Cardelloni on a couple tracks on drums, I
Right.
wonder who they didn't want on an album. But
Yep.
yeah, so we're gonna be reviewing the debut Shaw Blades album Hallucination, which was released on March 14th, 1995, as I said, on the Warner Brothers label. Um, it was produced by, I cannot pronounce this guy's name to save my life, Don
Jaman, Jamin,
Gaiman,
Gamon.
I don't know. Most well known as John Mellencamp's producer in the 80s. He produced all of the classic John Mellencamp albums
Yeah,
throughout
okay.
the 80s, from American Fool through Lonesome Jubilee, all the big ones he produced. He also produced REM's Life's Rich Pageant. And if you read some background on that, he's kind of the one who set REM on a more commercial path. He went into the studio and said to Michael Stipe, okay, um, I can't understand what you're saying. Sing better. And so Michael Stipe said, okay, and sang better and rewrote his lyrics and changed them around and kind of set them off. The next album after that was Document, and that's when they blew up. And he's kind of responsible for REM blowing up. Um, he did some stuff with a couple different people throughout the 80s and 90s. He produced Hootie and the Blowfish, Cracked Rear View. He produced a Tracy Chapman album in the 90s. I think it got nominated for a Grammy. So he's done a lot of production work, and you can hear it all over this album. Some of the bands that he had worked with prior to this and after this. And it was also co produced by Tommy Shaw and Jack Blades. Um, Not a lot of musicians on this album. It was just Shaw Blades. Steve Smith from Journey did most of the drums on this album, but Michael Cardelloni from Damn Yankees did do three of the drum tracks on this album. And that's it for musicians. That's the only musicians on this album. It's a very stripped back
Well,
album instrumentally.
they're
Well,
the Never Leave Brothers. What the hell
I
is
think
that?
that's just Tommy Shaw and Jack Blades.
Oh, gotcha.
I think that's just it's they always bands love to do little fancy names for people doing
True.
background vocals. I think it's just whoever was in the studio at the time. That it's just them
Right.
doing it because I can't really hear anybody else doing backing vocals. It's just the two of them. Um, but yeah, so it's not a lot of people involved in this album. Commercially, this album did jack all of shit. It did nothing. It and from if you read some stories, it didn't sound like Warner Brothers really gave a crap. It sounds like they just kind
Yeah.
of put it out and let it go, and that was about it. It was the only thing that Shaw Blades would do for a decent amount of time. They get back together in the early to mid 2000s, and we'll be reviewing that later. Their covers album that they did in 2007, we'll be reviewing that at a later date. But yeah, that's about the background I have on this one. You got anything else to add
Yeah, I
for
mean,
Hallucination?
yeah, these two are some of my favorite singers. I just love and rock and roll performer, whatever you want to call them, musicians or whatever. So I was expecting something really cool uh from this one just by themselves without Ted. Because the last, let's face it, we didn't really care for the last Damn Yankees album, so maybe Ted was the problem. And oof, was I wrong about that? This album could have used a big dose of Nuge, in my opinion, but we shall see. But other than that, yeah, it's not much about, I can't see any. I think All Music gave it a 3 out of 5. That's the only really ranking I
Hmm.
see from it. But nothing else like you haven't mentioned. I know they did some Christmas stuff or
They
something
did
like
like a
that. I
Christmas
don't know.
song, I think, and then they did the
Yeah,
covers album.
but yeah. But anyway, let's get started with the tracks, man. My Hallucination. What do you got on that one, man?
I mean, already off the bat, this is a breath of fresh air for these guys. It sounds a lot more confident than they sounded on Don't Tread. I think we talked about neither one of us was a big fan of Don't Tread, aside from like the title track and maybe like one other song. Um, they were kind of trying to be everybody and anybody and not themselves, and it just really it sounded like they were not confident in the material. And right off the bat here, you can tell that this is what Tommy Shaw and Jack Blades want to be doing. And they sound a lot more confident. They sound a lot more invested in it. And I think it pays off. I think this is a great track. I love the way that the acoustic guitar weaves its way in throughout this entire album, but this track is a great example of it. The vocal harmonies are great throughout this album and especially on this track. And it's a very catchy tune. And I am just going to spoil it at the top. I wasn't a fan of the last Damn Yankees album. I did really like the first Damn Yankees album. This album is my favorite thing that we reviewed since Paradise Theater.
Oh my, now you're gonna hate me then. But
I'm sure I am because yeah, no, this is the best thing we've reviewed since Paradise
wow,
Theater.
that's high praise. Uh, yeah, I mean, this is a great killer leadoff song, like you said. And I love the guitar riff. If there was ever a Damn Yankees possible holdover astounding song, I think it would definitely be this one.
Mm-hmm.
I love the vocals during the verse. I think that's the best part of the song. I think, and Tommy and Jack sound amazing together. Even the songs which I'll mention, even the songs that I don't like, they sound fucking great. Nothing wrong at all with their harmonies. I've always liked this track. This is one of the songs that I hear a lot of still from this album. Not a lot of, but every now and then. I played it a few times on my radio show, craniumradio.com, Tuesdays, 4 p.m. Eastern. Um, got to get a ribbon
Yeah.
somewhere. But anyway, yeah, it's kind of a cool, fun story in the lyrics. It's a decent, I mean, it's a really good, not decent, it's a really good lead off track in my opinion. So next track, I'll always be with you.
Well, here's what sunk the album. um, so from what I was reading, the two songs from this album that received airplay, I don't know if they were even officially released as singles, if that was a thing in 1995, but the two songs that received radio airplay were My Hallucination and I'll Always Be With You. My Hallucination, fantastic tune, great radio track. I'll Always Be With You, one of the worst ballads I've ever heard in my life. What were they thinking with this one? I can tell what they're going for. They didn't manage to accomplish it. This is easily the worst track on the album, in my opinion, and it's the only track on the album that I actively dislike. The bridge where Tommy comes in on lead vocals is kind of cool, and that's it. The rest of it with Jack on lead vocals is boring, plodding, and it sucks that because, as I'm going to hit on, there are several better ballads on this album that could have gotten some good airplay that I think might have actually done something for them in 1995. This is not one of them.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of really like Jack's low register, the way he sings it. It's
Mm-hmm.
actually kind of snarly. It not snarly, but you know what I mean?
There's
Like,
one song
wow.
later on in the there's
Yeah,
one song later
guitar.
on in the album that I think he uses that lower register really well.
Yeah, sounds really good. And like I always say, Tommy Shaw and acoustic guitar, you can't go wrong. Well, I think but this song and some of the other songs I've come up with, maybe there's a little too
the
much.
the
Be careful
exception that
what you
makes the
wish for
rule.
sometimes. Yeah, I mean, is this a ballad or is it a faster tape tap? I don't know what to make of this song. I don't know, but it's got a really nice acoustic guitar solo though, so I
Yes.
do dig that. And actually, kind of, there's a part where it gets a little better, if that makes any sense towards the end. There's a weird change in it, which I kind of like. But yeah, this is
Yeah.
just average run of the mill tune, and maybe a little less than that one. This probably is probably a reason Ted why wouldn't probably want to be in the next album, this type of song. But he would have. I'm just saying. I'm joking.
Oh, for money,
But
he would do anything.
that's true. Yes, absolutely. So with that being said, let's go to come come to be my friend. Come to be my friend.
Yeah,
Okay, that's it.
yeah,
Let's make sure I was
that's
reading
it.
that right.
So at this point, it had been a very long time since I listened to this entire album. And the first track was great. I hated the second track. I get to this track, I'm like, am I not going to like this album? Because this song is like decent. It's not bad, but it's not great. There's a cool kind of bluesy intro. When the vocals kick in, it's like, is this was this on Wildflowers? Like this is 90s Tom Petty written all over it. It even like Jack Blades even sounds like 90s Tom Petty singing this song. Um, I really like the build up to the chorus. The chorus is kind of but I love the build up, and there's a really cool instrumental break after the chorus. So there's some really solid stuff on this track, but as a whole, it's kind of this would be my second least favorite track on the album, but it's a huge step up from the last track.
Yeah, I'm listening to this song. I'm listening to the intro. I'm like, man, this is going to be a killer fucking song. That riff at the beginning was so cool.
Mm-hmm.
But man, it gets terrible. It just goes nowhere. Very boring with some really corny lyrics, I think. I think the lyrics are corny. And
Mm-hmm.
we talked about how great the harmonies are. They're always going to be good no matter what. But wow, this is a snoozer. Not to mention, it's like over 5 minutes long too. It's like, why? I mean, I don't get it. The positive is, I think the bridge is pretty cool. But God, yeah, I'm not a fan of this one. So let's move onward here. Don't talk to me anymore.
Okay, and now's where the album picks up in a big way for me. This is a very cool tune in my opinion. The vocal harmonies on the chorus are beautiful. Some of my favorite vocal harmonies on the album. Um, I really love that it's a bit of a different sound than what we'd heard previously on the album. My hallucination was a much more kind of a straightforward track. Um, the second track was a weird, stupid piano ballad with some acoustic stuff in it. The third one was bluesier, but not great. This one had like kind of weird. It had this kind of like it had like the weird like drum pattern in it, and it felt like very I don't even know how I would describe it, but it's very different kind of feel than the rest of it up to this point, and I think that really does this song a service. I think it stands out at this point on the album. Um, Honestly, a much better ballad than I'll Always Be With You. I think this would have been a much better choice if for radio play. Because I mean, at this time, I mean, the producer just did done Hootie and the Blowfish cracked a review. This is kind of the thing that was getting airplay at the time, not some sappy high enough kind of ballad. That was not what was getting airplay in 1995. A knockoff 10th generation high enough. Something like this, I think, would have gotten them a lot more airplay in 1995 than the other track. I really dig this tune. I think it stands out in a very good way.
Yeah. To quote Jay, if you're a big Kevin Smith fan and you know Jay and Silent Bob, zoinks, yo. Um, I think this is a sappy as hell lame ballad. And I personally think this is probably the worst ballad these guys have written together.
Wow.
If this is going to be a Damn Yankees album, holy shit. It really missed Ted's guitar work on this one for sure. This is a cure for insomnia, man. This song did nothing for me. I was like, what the hell is going on here? And for all those people who think that I'm a Tommy Shaw nut swinger, man, you know, I'm an honest Tommy Shaw fan, and I do not like this song at all. I think it is lame, dude. But so before I start feeling bad for making fun of it a lot, let's move on. I stumble in. God, these titles are hard to say together for some reason. What do you got, man?
Now, this is a song that I have played on my radio show on Cranium Radio, Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. I've played this song. I love this tune. I think this is a great upbeat tune. There's a really good kind of, it has a good kind of power behind it. The verses sound very John Mellencamp. You can tell this is Mellencamp's producer because it sounds like a John Mellencamp song. Um, but I think they do a really good job with it. And I think their harmonies on the chorus are great, and I think this is a really really cool upbeat track. I really love this one.
Yeah, our good friend who who will remain nameless wanted to be on this show to talk about this album, but I did not think he would be happy with my review. Um, vocally really well. I'm gonna say that quite a bit. But that is it. Again, I think it's an extremely boring tune. What is up with that cry baby cry part? I just did not like it. Did have a really, really great guitar solo though. Even though
Mm-hmm.
it was a short guitar solo, but it really was nice. I'm trying to think of some positives, man. So we'll leave it at that. So let's move on to the next Blue Continental.
This is a cool slow tune. It has a cool little progression on it. It's a shorter track. It's only like 2 minutes and change, I think. Tommy's vocals on this are some of my favorite on the album that he has. Very emotional vocal from him on this one, and there's some great guitar work on this one as well. I think it's cool. It's a cool track. I think I just another cool track on this album for me.
Yeah, it's a nice and short one. As I said before, it really does hurt to crap on two of my favorite musicians. It really does. But this is another terrible song. You know, I say all the time, Tommy and acoustic guitar is usually magic, but maybe I got a little too much magic on this album. I don't know what it is about it. Just not feeling this album so far. So I thought for sure when I first listened to this album a while back, I did like it a lot. But maybe that's just one of those albums that just didn't age well with me. I don't know, but just another song in my opinion, man. Doesn't do anything for me. So let's get down that highway.
This one's a very bluegrass inspired. You can hear where Tommy's bluegrass kind of fascination starts. I thought he would do a bluegrass album in the 2010s, I think. Um, and yeah, cool tune. Really kicks in about halfway through, and I think that picks up some steam. Um, it's a good tune, not one of my favorites on the album, but I think it's still very solid, a very solid tune.
Hey, you know, I think this is actually a little bit better, man. I like the story and the lyrics. Some of the best harmonies I think that we have from the guys on the album. And you mentioned the bluegrass feel. It does have a really bluegrass feel. It has the mandolin and all that, which if you heard his bluegrass album a couple of years ago, there's a lot of this type of music, a lot of this type of songwriting. Which are we doing that album?
I can't remember if I have it on the list or not.
Oh, so I won't say anything about it. Just in case. But it's got a good steel guitar solo, man. Is it amazing? No, but it's a still a decent tune, man. So I'll take it. So let's move on to how you're going to get used to it.
This is probably my favorite song on the album. Has a really great groove on it. Steve Smith has some standout drum sections on this song. I think that if you listen to most of the rest of this album and somebody told you that Steve Smith played the drums, I mean, it's a very generic drum album. But I think this is one of the songs where he's actually allowed to let loose a little bit more and work in some odd patterns and some odd kind of little moves around the kit that he's very known for. He's a very accomplished jazz drummer. Of course, if you listen to some of the Journey stuff, you wouldn't know that either. But if you've seen them live and watched him do his solos, he's an extremely
Yeah,
accomplished drummer.
he
And I
is.
think he
Yeah.
has a lot to do on this track. And I think he really shows up for a lot of this track. There's some really cool changes in the feel throughout this tune. And I think I really dig it. Great electric guitar solo, one of the only ones on the album. Tommy Shaw putting the acoustic away for a few minutes and pulling out a really cool electric guitar solo. Yeah, this is one of my favorite. This is one of, if not my favorite songs on the album.
Wow. You know, for the most part, I listening to this album, I'm checked out at this point. It's going to take something really amazing to wake me back up, I think. This fails miserably, in my opinion. Just another boring song, man. Maybe because I'm so checked out at this point that I can't say anything nice about it. You know, I'm thinking to myself, am I actually a Styx fan? Am I actually a Tommy Shaw fan? Am I really? But
Don't
like I
let the haters
said,
get to you, Jerry. Don't let the
no, I'm
haters
like
get to you.
exactly. I'm like, you know, it's like I'm not gonna say I like something when I don't like it, and I just do not like it. Positive, it does have a really nice solo. You mentioned the electric guitar solo, which was cool. But yeah, man, this is just another snoozer for me, and I don't like this song at all. So let's go on with The Night Goes On, or Night Goes On, or something like
Yeah,
whatever.
the night goes on. Um, Another nice little acoustic tune. There's some really cool flourishes throughout. There's some mandolin, like you mentioned on one of the other tracks. Um, this is probably one of the most stripped back songs on the album, and I think I really dig this one. A really cool highlight for their vocals. It's just a straightforward acoustic track, and like like I said, I really, really dug this album, man. I think this is part of the reason why. Songs like this that just really kind of keep the album moving, in my opinion.
Yeah, I do appreciate that. You know, Tommy's always had that bluegrass thing, so um, good for him for trying what he wants to play. And that part of it is cool, but yeah, it's a no for me, dog. Again, I mean, it's just very boring in my opinion. It does pick up a little, perks up a little bit eventually, but oh, thank God this song is relatively short because I would starting to throw things. I was starting to really get upset and pissed off about this album because I could have sworn I liked it. I really do when I first heard it. Yeah, it's a pass for me. So let's move on. I Can't Live Without You.
Just another solid acoustic ballad. I think that honestly, at this point in the album, I think that Tommy Shaw and Jack Blades just mesh so well vocally. I think that they have
Absolutely.
um, such a great chemistry with each other vocally, and I mean, I'm not gonna knock them for that, and especially when their voices pair so well on songs like this. I think it's another cool acoustic ballad. The key change towards the end is great. It's very powerful. You hear they kind of take it up a notch and kind of belt out the end, and I really think that's a cool way to end the track.
Yeah.
Last real song on the album.
Yeah. All right. So I Can't Live Without You.
Yeah, that's the one
What
I
do you
just
got?
talked about.
Oh, my bad. Oh, okay. My bad. Well, like I said, even talking about this album has put me to sleep, everybody. I've got one word and it's wow. That's all I got for it.
Wow, is it
Take
that
it,
good, huh?
take it either way you want, folks. Just wow. Um, so we move on to the last song, which is The End.
Well, the Doors, it is not. Um, um, I mean, it's a fun little like 1.5 minute little acoustic thing to end the album. It's like basically their acoustic version of Good Night Now from Cheap Trick. Like it's kind of like bye bye. Like that's all it is. It's a little 1.5 minute thing just to end the album. I'm sure you're gonna crap all over it. Go ahead.
It actually made me laugh, this song did. For the first, I was thinking about it, it sounded like the end, how they used to end those 70s variety shows when
You're kind of
the
right.
whole cast came on and
Yeah.
started singing the ending of it. That's the first thing that came to my mind about it. Look, they're trying to do something cool and fun. I get it, but man, oof, this is terrible. I'm sorry. The funny part about this album, I was listening to this on iTunes today, and once you finish an album, it'll start playing songs that aren't necessarily from the band, but from the same genre. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And Send Her My Love from Journey came on after that. And you know how I
That's
feel
why
about
you're
that
so
song?
mad. That's why you're so
No,
mad.
I was happy for it. It came, I was happy to hear Send Her My Love. I really was.
Boy, I thought the day would
Oh,
never come. That's what this is.
oh,
This has all been a big plot by me to enjoy Sender My Love.
well, it was like, yeah, maybe because I was like, then Send Her My Love, I heard that doo 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 doo. I'm like, oh, wow, I'm awake again. But
Wait, a real
yeah,
song? What?
yeah, I'm a huge Journey fan too, but that was never one of my favorite songs, folks. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I used to like this album. It just did not age well with me, man. Sorry, I really am. What do you think? What's your final thought on it? Well, we know, but go ahead
Yeah,
and
I loved this album. I think it was
yeah.
great. I'm gonna buy this album. Like, I,
I actually own it,
I,
so
I, yeah. This is a fantastic album. I love. I mean, I can understand. Like, it is a very acoustic heavy album. Oh boy, wow. He folks, he didn't throw away his notes on some of those Dennis DeYoung solo
I,
albums. So think about
I
that one. Think
well,
about
because
that one.
most of those notes at the beginning I had on my computer. I didn't actually print them
Oh,
out.
that's
So
true. Also, we kind of knew what to expect with those.
true.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I loved this album. Really, the only thing I disliked was that second track. There are some bonus tracks that I listened to, and I know for a fact you didn't listen to them.
I
So,
didn't know.
because I know you wouldn't put yourself through that after this whole
No,
thing. The first
no.
one, "How Does It Feel?" It's a bit more of a rockin' tune, which is funny that they included it as a bonus track and didn't put it on the album because it's something that you would actually probably like. Um,
Probably will. I'll listen to them when
um,
I'm done here.
that's the one that Jack Blades has the more kind of growling vocal on.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
I think he has a really good, and Tommy comes in with some really great harmonies and a really solid solo. So that's the first track, bonus track, How Does It Feel? And the second bonus track, Straight Down the Line, was actually re recorded for the Seven Deadly Zens album. So I will talk about it then. I will not talk
Yep.
about it now because I
Yeah,
listened to them. They're a little bit different, but it's pretty much the same song. It's not exact like the Dennis DeYoung track that they put on the Son of Edge, but it's literally
same song.
literally just the exact same
Yeah.
recording. No,
Yeah.
this one's a little bit different. You can tell that they re-recorded parts of it. I think the vocal might be the same, but the instrumental sounded a little bit different. So
Gotcha.
when we review Seven Deadly Zens in like what 3-4 episodes, we'll
Mhm.
talk about it then. But yeah,
Yeah.
I loved this album. I'm glad we reviewed it. I'm sorry you didn't like it.
I thought I would. I really did. I remember
Yeah,
hyping it up, I think. Yeah, doing Shaw Blades. I'm like,
yeah,
yeah, but shit happens in life, man, where hell, I'm starting to like stuff I didn't like back then, so it kind of works both ways, I guess. You know what I mean? So
yeah. And
it happens.
I'm actually very excited to review their covers album in like
Yeah,
6 months
pretty much. Yeah, we
because
got a lot of stuff left, folks. We
I'm very
do.
familiar with their covers album, and I will put a spoiler out there right now. It is one of my favorite covers albums ever
Nice. Actually, I'll
because
be
of
honest with you, I don't think I've heard it.
the song
So,
selection is fantastic. It's stuff that there's common picks, but also stuff that fits their sound perfectly.
for what it's worth, a future album from Six, Big Bang Theory, I thought was a
Yeah,
great cover album too. So,
yeah,
you
and
know,
they were right around the same time.
yeah. So that's going to be kind of cool to talk
Yep.
about. But anyway, Joe, what are we doing next week, man?
Next week we are going to prolong the agony from getting back to the reunion a little bit longer, and we're going to
Yep.
cover another JY solo album.
Yeah.
um,
No,
we
it's
had
cool.
some
I've
mixed
enjoyed.
we had some mixed
Yeah,
reviews on the last one, but
yeah. I mean, it's better than a lot of the other solo albums that we
that is
revisited. So I'm
true.
kind of looking
That is
forward to
true. So
this
we're
one.
going to be covering JY's third solo album, the first with the James Young group, Raised by Wolves,
Yep,
and then
that's going to
after
be
that
fun.
we're going to be getting into the big reunion, the
Yeah, back to Sticks.
'95. Styx is
Yep.
back, baby. So
Yes.
got some good
And
stuff
pretty
coming up
much,
here.
well, no, we got some more DeYoung albums, but the DeYoung albums do get better, so that's cool.
Well, yeah, we're
Well, I
skipping
hope
all the
they did
DeYoung albums
anyway.
until we're yeah we now you don't know. I mean, man, your
Exactly.
opinion's
Shit,
been
I don't
changed on
know.
so much of this stuff.
Right.
um,
So we shall see.
yeah, so we have at least 20 more episodes
Yeah, we
coming
got
out.
a
So
lot of stuff coming.
we're gonna be here for a while yet, maybe almost another year. We might get to two
Yeah,
years on this stuff. Who knows? So
plus we have some bonus shows, maybe do some
oh yeah,
panels, stuff like
yep.
that. So
And
a lot of
then when
stuff.
we're done, we're gonna start over and review it all again. No,
Yeah, we're gonna keep doing it again.
no.
Yeah.
We're just gonna review the albums we didn't like and see if our opinion changed at all.
Yeah. That might be a good idea. You never know. We shall see. Um,
We'll make you listen to this album again in a year, see if you like
oh,
it again.
okay. Yeah.
Hey,
I'll be
I'll be listening to it anytime I can. I love this album. So
all right, Joe. Well, you take care. Thank you everybody for subscribing and all that good stuff. We appreciate you and be good to each other and turn off the news, turn on the music. So rock and roll.
see you later.